featured the estate in a TikTok video posted on her account just 6 days ago. Good was charged last year with multiple counts of burglary, trespassing, and other crimes associated with her squatter takeover of a multi-million-dollar Bethesda home.
Damn.
She had a scheduled court appearance on Thursday morning. An exclusive footage obtained by Spotlight on Maryland could be seen in a black Porsche Cayenne leaving the property soon before 7 to make it to court.
Boy, they were surveilling her.
Social media accounts that have also appeared in court records missed her court date this week for trespassing and burglary charges related to the Bethesda.
This is before she got the 90 days.
I wanted to show you guys something real fast. I always talk about how the devil is in the details and how when you get these documents, you have to go through them with a fine-tooth comb.
This TikTok post from April advertises a rental package for $500 for a limited time.
So 2026 has just gotten started and a lot of people have already been exposed. Am I right? It's ridiculous. A lot of these ladies that are out here, let me just tell you, a lot of it is a lie. A lot of it is a bold-faced lie. Rich poser squatter.
All started around 4th of July weekend. The house that we're talking about was up for sale, and we heard there was a new buyer that was interested. Sounded like they were going to close around that period of time, and some new people moved in. We were aware that the sale had not closed, and the new occupants were unlawfully occupying the building.
Tamika Good was showing off the house and lavish lifestyle online. So on her social media, she was telling y'all how broke y'all were, while apparently, allegedly, well, I guess she's been convicted now, squatting in a $2.3 million house in Maryland. Driving a Porsche, luxury cars, stealing luxury cars. Damn. Cuffs. Got that extra cuff on there, 2 cuffs.
I was pretty scared. I mean, all
now,
of us are...
that kind of sucks right there. It says she was only sentenced to 90 days in jail. That's all you get for that? Like, that's kind of crazy, yo. It's almost, it seems like it's worth it. I'm sure in her mind, she's not tripping off of doing 3 months in jail after stealing and occupying somebody's mansion. But this is her. Look at that dress. What was she thinking with this dress and these lace sleeves? Boy, you couldn't tell her nothing. She's stunning on y'all.
I was pretty scared. I mean, all of us in our neighborhood were. We have a lot of elderly folks who were afraid to even go to sleep at night because they were worried that someone like Tamika or Tamika herself would break in and be living in their house and refuse to leave.
It's crazy because this chick right here says she was a legal, I forgot how she said it. She was some type of legal expert that she was telling people that she was online. And, you know, she got the whole designer bag, Porsche, the fur. She's the envy of all of you peons out there that follow her on Instagram, most likely. But there's more.
I never imagined that this would take this long.
Spotlight on Maryland reported in December about 2 alleged squatters who took over a $2.3 million house in Bethesda.
Just make this very clear.
Tamika Good, the squatter and self-described pro se litigation coach.
You can't be doing
that's what it was, a pro se litigation coach, all right? So she's a pro se litigation coach. She's got a business. That's why she's living in a $2.3 million mansion.
People
featured the estate in a TikTok video posted on her account just 6 days ago. Good was charged last year with multiple counts of burglary, trespassing, and other crimes associated with her squatter takeover of
multiple counts of burglary, trespassing, and other crimes. You see how she was dressed? She had the whole get up, you know, the whole starter package of all these. She had the fancy glasses on. She got the dress, the skirt, and the high heels. Those high heels are crazy high too. And the Louis bag, going into her $2.3 million mansion. So you think.
Featured the estate in a TikTok video posted on her account just 6 days ago. Good was charged last year with multiple counts of burglary, trespassing, and other crimes associated with her squatter takeover of a multi-million-dollar Bethesda home.
Damn.
She had a scheduled court appearance on Thursday morning. An exclusive footage obtained by Spotlight on Maryland could be seen in a black Porsche Cayenne leaving the property soon before 7 to make it to court.
Boy, they were surveilling her.
It was unclear which bank owned the foreclosed house because there was no clear trespassing sign. The assistant state's attorney for Montgomery.
What? Hold up. That was her excuse in court? There was no trespassing sign. So all y'all out there that have a family property, a property in your family's name or something that is unoccupied at the moment, you have to put a no trespassing sign so people don't jump in there like this lady, man. But I mean, that's just a reflection on the laws of Maryland. Like, that's rough that you would have to fight to get somebody like this out. So the bank actually owned the house and they had foreclosed on somebody, probably somebody else who was living above their means. And so since she said there was no trespassing sign, that she somehow felt like that was something she could take possession of. Crazy.
Attorney for Montgomery County replied after hearing Good repeat herself multiple times saying, "I know who doesn't own the property, and that's Tamika Good," adding, "This isn't some vacant, abandoned, way out of the woods house." I'm Miss Tamika Good. Do you believe that squatting is a crime? Why are you in a $2.5 million property, Ms. Good? After 3.5 hours of arguing her case before a judge as her own representative, we attempted to make contact.
Well, she is a pro se legal expert, you know. She's a pro se legal expert.
During the trial's lunch break.
Hold on, let me look up pro se real quick. I'm not a lawyer, but if it means what I think it means, pro se is a Latin term meaning for oneself. So she's a legal expert that teaches you how to represent yourself, is what I'm thinking, or on one's own behalf.
Get out my face.
Ma'am, why are you in a $2.5 million property? Meanwhile, after Montgomery
Get out
County
my
police followed
face.
Good into the garage to survey her actions, she went back to the courthouse to argue her case for another hour and a half.
Really?
Judge John C. Moffitt gave remarks before he made the ruling, telling Good she had some demented thoughts to justify squatting. The prosecution replied, "This is frankly nuts."
It is.
Good was found guilty on all counts of burglary and breaking and entering, and immediately sentenced to 90 days in prison.
She thought this was going to be like just a regular, you know, she came in her sweats, regular day, got her Porsche keys and everything. They let her have a lunch break. So she actually had a chance to escape. They even let her out on OR to go to lunch or whatever she did. And then she came back and argued some more that she was right to be in this place. And at the end of it all, she ends up sentenced to 90 days in prison. And I don't know if she started right there, but yeah, that's crazy. Seems like a light sentence to me.
90 days in prison.
I think the District Court of Maryland did the right thing today.
Ian
this
Jett, a
guy.
19-year-old living with his parents in a neighboring house to the home Good occupied,
Her
brought the
neighbor.
case before a Maryland commissioner's office because he said he wanted to take back the neighborhood from criminals.
I felt it was my civic duty to do the right thing, to file these charges, and then to ultimately bring her to justice here today.
Oh, so there's a plot twist. So not only was he in the clip talking to the news, he is the one who filed this claim. Damn. What did she do to piss him off other than her just being there and when she wasn't supposed to be? A 19-year-old. I would have got away from it too if it wasn't for you meddling kids. I know she's saying in her jail cell. Damn.
Another witness in Good's trial, who asked not to be named for safety concerns,
Whole
says he
neighborhood.
blames the state for a lack of action in what he says was terror.
There was a law that was trying to get passed to kind of streamline the process, but I think that got shot down. Make a rational, concise decision to change the rules where it differentiates a squatter from a legal tenant.
Until then,
Yeah,
Bethesda
man.
neighbors say they will patiently wait until the next chapter of the squatter saga sees his day in court.
I was pretty scared. I mean, all of us in our neighborhood were. We have a lot of elderly folks who were afraid to even go to sleep at night because they were worried that someone like Tamika or Tamika herself would
Them
break in
gangsters.
and be living in their house and refuse to leave.
We will continue to follow.
Oh, poor old folks, man. They couldn't sleep at night because they was like, she's about to move in. I know she's about to move in. She coming with them green pants on and that BBL. And she gonna move in on us. Gonna have weave hairs everywhere. No. But apparently she was living there with a man as well, which I think some sucker shit. Hopefully, it sounds like he was up to his own thing because he had some charges for something else. But was he aware that he was living in a stolen property? I'm willing to guess yes, with this pro se attorney.
And refuse to leave.
We will continue to follow this matter and alleged squatting closely. I'm Gary Collins in Silver Spring with Spotlight on Maryland.
The other alleged occupant of that Bethesda home, Corey Pollard, was also due in court today, but we understand he did not appear because he was recently arrested on an outstanding unrelated warrant.
Well.
Yeah, we've heard about squatters in the news. Never thought it would be next door to, where we all grew up.
James O., a man who grew up in a multi-million-dollar neighborhood in Bethesda, is one neighbor of nearly an entire block who has contacted Spotlight on Maryland to investigate an alleged squatter takeover of a $2.3 million property on Burning Tree Road. For fear of safety, O asked to only be identified by the first letter of his last name.
Oh, this must be the guy
Our ongoing
that didn't show up to court.
Into the squatting epidemic in the state.
All started around 4th of July weekend, and there were the house that we're talking about was up for sale, and we heard there was a new buyer that was interested. Sounded like they were going to close around that period of time, and some new people moved in.
O said the tight-knit community.
Oh, you know what? That's funny. Somebody told me about a house that something similar happened. Like they actually got to the closing table. The house was supposed to be sold. They had already made arrangements to go stay at somebody else's house until they got to their next destination and packed up everything and were ready to move. And then at the end of it, they kind of backed out of the whole deal. And they were like, we want to stay in the place and we don't want to pay any rent. We don't want to pay any utilities until this situation with our money clears up. Then we'll go ahead and complete the purchase. Well, now the people have already committed to moving all their stuff. They're going to inconvenience family members or whoever they're going to stay with. They're making plans to move out of state. And then you get somebody like this that tries to pull a fast one. And it sounds like that's how she got in there into that neighborhood. Because you wonder, like, it wasn't any sign of forced entry or anything on the door. It just seemed like she had keys or she rekeyed the place, I'm assuming. And damn, she was running in and out of there in her Porsche. That's crazy.
They quickly suspected the new neighbors were not the actual new home buyers, but suspected squatters. They made contact with the occupants, who they identified as Tamika Good and Corey Pollard.
We were aware that the sale had not closed and the new occupants were unlawfully occupying the building.
Yep. And the neighbors know exactly what's going on. Boy, them neighbors be in everything. They know if the sale closed, they know how much it sold for. And you just rolling up in there thinking you're going to pull a fast one on these people with $1 million properties. They looking at their property values when just random people rolling up in the neighborhood, man.
Building.
How did this all start? How did this all happen?
The bank foreclosed on the previous owners because they were in default on their mortgage.
John, another Bethesda neighbor to the suspected squatter house, pointed us to court records on how the property initially became vacant.
Cameras out there.
The man's real name is being withheld by his request for fear of his safety. According to Maryland property records, the property is currently owned by City Mortgage. Court records show a foreclosure for the property was granted in early 2025. Citigroup filed with Montgomery County District Court for Good and all the mansion's occupants to vacate, saying it has come to our attention that you have wrongfully, improperly, and illegally entered and are occupying the premise, adding your actions constitute a breaking and entering home invasion, and you and all occupants are wrongfully trespassing.
Yeah, and so how do they justify 90 days for breaking and entering? Is that all you get in Maryland for breaking and entering and burglary and all this stuff? Like these seem like much more serious charges, but for some reason they only gave her 90 days in jail. Basically a slap on the wrist.
Yet another property neighbor, court records show, filed several criminal charges against Good and Pollard.
That was the kid and his family.
On December 8th, Pollard was arrested in the mansion's driveway. As a result of the arrest, Pollard is now facing extradition to Pennsylvania to face multiple luxury vehicle theft charges for allegedly stealing.
Wait a minute.
Facing extradition to Pennsylvania to face multiple luxury vehicle theft.
She got to go to Pennsylvania. Burglary. They were running a crime ring out of there. Any crime you could think of, they were doing it. That's crazy. This was a luxury trap house.
Theft charges for allegedly stealing cars from a Lancaster dealership parking lot.
Wow.
Pollard has a lengthy court record, including a federal case involving transporting stolen vehicles from Pennsylvania and Delaware and possessing more than 100 grams of heroin.
Damn, see? 100 grams, right? Yeah, she got more than just a little bit of time on this. I guess maybe that's why they only gave her 90 days, because they realized, they were like, oh, she's about to get hemmed up in Pennsylvania and Delaware. Transporting stolen vehicles and possession of 100 grams of the boy.
Of heroin.
Hey, y'all, what's up? It's your favorite pro se litigation coach.
Meanwhile, Good, claiming to be a financial and pro se litigation coach on social media accounts that have all...
Of course, man. You know, this is crazy now. Content creators that have financial in their profile, unless they are accountants now, we just have to say, like, no, we're not going to fall for this anymore. This is ridiculous. Now she's a financial and pro se litigation coach on TikTok. She ain't even got that many followers. She got 1,300 followers. The pro se litigation coach. I help pro se litigants with foreclosures and bankruptcy. No shit. You can't make this stuff up. You can't make this stuff up. How is this the expert? These are the experts, man. I think 2026 is going to be the end of all this, because the online coaches are going away. A lot of those scams are going away. Yeah, I think the financial get the bag coach is going the way of the dodo. And definitely the pro se litigation coaches out here. They all need to go somewhere. And she's gone for 3 months. But she got some bigger charges coming, I'm pretty sure.
Social media accounts that have also appeared in court records missed her court date this week for trespassing and burglary charges related to the Bethesda.
This is before she got the 90 days.
I wanted to show you guys something real fast. I always talk about how the devil is in the details and how when you get these documents, you have to go through them with a fine-tooth comb.
This TikTok post from April advertises a rental package for $500 for a limited time.
Hey, yo, Now, you are a sucker if you paid her $500 for anything she had to say. $500 just off the break, off the muscle. Your welcome letter will include everything you do. What you do is you move in and you stay there. You stay there now, and now you get your mail there.
The screenshot of what appears to be a least welcoming letter. After speaking to the neighbors, we decided to try to make contact with the people inside the house. After knocking multiple times and hearing a dog bark, but then silence, we left a business.
Wait, why she got a dog? Like, if you doing some dirt, why are you bringing your animals into this, man? This whole thing is crazy, man. But they do this a lot in California, and I have my own personal squatting story. But trust me, I wasn't involved. I didn't know. I did not know. There were guys at a certain point that were putting these houses on the market, right? It's outside the city, quite a distance. So you see it and you're like, oh, just seems like somebody renting a room, right? I'm a struggling actor at the time and I needed somewhere to stay. So I'm on Craigslist and I find this listing. Nicest guy, Hispanic, older, probably in his 40s or 50s. And he shows me this house with already some occupants in it, right? So I'm not thinking anything of it. He's like, oh, yeah, I rent these places, just on the side, So he has the house and it's like a brand new subdivision and like these, kind of really nice house, something that you would want to be in regardless of the fact. You got a couple roommates. I never really saw the roommates, so I thought everything was cool. The electric was on, it didn't seem like any problem, right? But come to find out later, after I sensed something was wrong, and I was like, hey man, I don't know if this house is really gonna work out for me. I mean, this seems like a really nice house, but something doesn't seem right about this. Do you have any other properties that you're listed? Oh yeah, I got another property. So he sends me to a older house, but more realistically, something that he would actually have some ownership in and be renting out. This one had a whole a dude, his girlfriend, and some kids. And they were living in one part of the house. I was living in the other part of the house. And everything was cool. I stayed there for a couple months. But come to find out, what they were doing is they would rent the house as a single person or a family, say, yeah, I'm bringing my family in here. And they would sublease underneath to people like me, which on paper, it's definitely illegal, because you give up your tenant rights when you become that person. But then you also are like running into a problem. And then that new house that was out there, it was questionable. I don't know what the situation was with that. I doubt he had any type of lease on it or anything, but he was just renting it out to people and making double of what he was supposed to pay per month, which is smart in one way, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, you don't put people in that situation where they're inadvertently breaking the law or something and they don't know. You get notices on the door or something. Like the police is telling us to get the hell out of here. It's crazy. But anyway, let me know what you think about it in the comments. If you like this video, like, comment, subscribe. Hit the bell notification for all uploads. This is Faucette Media.